Welcome to episode 2 of Infinite Candor. So this episode's just come a few days later than I was wanting to get it out, but obviously with the current situation that's going on within the world, we're obviously trying very hard to kind of get some kind of normality within our classes and try and keep everything going as much as we can. Obviously keeping everybody safe within that. So it's been a bit of a crazy week and a half just trying to figure out the next steps of what we're going to do and what we're going to obviously offer our clients when we do have to close the studio. So today obviously I want to kind of broach the subject of the coronavirus and what it's kind of doing to us and how it's affecting our business and what we're doing to kind of keep going and stay as positive as possible throughout this. I think we can look at all the negative sides of what the coronavirus is bringing, and obviously there's a lot of people gone into hysteria with going to shops and buying all the food and not really thinking through what they're doing. Yes, we may be put into self-isolation for 14 days, but 14 days isn't very long. And even if we do have to go into lockdown, there is agreements within that we can actually leave to get out to the shops for things that we might need. So I think we need to really kind of take a bit of a chill pill and calm down and just reevaluate the situation. Yes, it's shit and people are dying. I mean, it's just not great, but we can't live in fear of this, and we need to be strong and support each other as much as possible. I think there is too much negativity in the world as it is, and then with this on top of that, it's just creating this mass hysteria, and we need to bring ourselves together and stay strong together to get through this. I think if people on a daily basis actually learned to deal with situations, normal day-to-day situations, taking this out of the equation, if they deal with life situations all the time in a proper manner, you would probably actually be able to deal with what's going on in the world a lot better. And I've said this to a lot of people. I think people just don't know how to deal with stressful situations very well. This is something that I have worked on daily throughout the last few years, so that now I'm in this situation and I am actually looking at the situation from my perspective now, and you can deem this wrong, as a positive thing. I've taken this opportunity to kind of almost give myself a bit of a kick up the ass to be not so complacent and not allow myself to get lazy, because this has, to me, made me realise that I have to have other opportunities and other avenues that I'm working on that almost can keep everything else ticking over nicely. Obviously I have to make a very, very big decision to close my studio, which is really hard for me to do, and I wanted to give everybody as much normality as possible throughout this time, but from my perspective I now have to start thinking of people in my family and protecting them, because if I got it and then I gave it to my parents, then my mum couldn't go and see my granddad who's 96, and it's just a cascade of events that starts to happen. The last thing I want is my granddad to get ill, because he does have underlying health conditions, and him to get the coronavirus and something bad to happen. I think until we experience someone dying from it, I don't think it's really sinking in with a lot of people, and it's taken a long time for me as well. I'm finding this whole situation very surreal, and it's like we're literally living in a movie. It's just really strange, and I think until things really come to a full steam ahead with the government and whatever they decide to do, I don't think people will potentially take it as serious as they are. And you see people kind of wandering around potentially just doing things as normal and not really taking into regard, you know, the situation at hand. So still trying to keep this on a positive note. I think we do need to take the positives away from it. You know, I think there's a lot of things that have come good from this. You know, the amount of pollution that's in the world has reduced just from people having to self-isolate. So, you know, there's a lot of things that are coming good from this happening. Yes, I am aware that people are dying from this, and it's not good, but we can't look at all the bad in everything. If we do, it'll only make us feel more and more depressed. Anxiety will start to go through the roof. I think if we just focus on the fact that yes, people are dying, we will start to go into like this hole, and we will find it hard to get out of that hole. And that's when kind of depression starts to set in, and anxiety. And you know, from someone who has had severe anxiety panic attacks and have dealt with depression, I don't want to go back into that hole. It's not a nice place to be. So I think we need to just, you know, try our best to get through this as much as we can. And eventually, you know, things will get back to normal. We don't know how long that'll take, but eventually they will. As long as we, you know, stay strong and work together as a community. And that's why I want to keep, you know, when we eventually close the studio, I want to keep everything going in the same direction with our classes and everything like that. We're going to be providing those online, so we're keeping everybody kind of just going through this and working together and keeping that community feel, because essentially that's what people need. So try not to kind of put yourself into a hole. Try and keep looking at like the positives of it as much as you can. The news doesn't help because obviously it's just constantly negative all the time. So we always it doesn't matter how many positives, you could get 10 positives and there'll be one negative, and you're going to focus on that one negative. So we need to kind of just remember, yes, that's going on, but there's always something else that we can look towards and look forward towards. I've actually taken this opportunity to, you know, push my online training, which is what I wanted to do anyway. I wanted that other side of what we did. So now it's given me the opportunity to do that. As much as I don't want to close the studio, I need to keep everybody safe at the same time. So try and stay as positive as, you know, just keep moving forward as much as you can until we know otherwise, because we don't really know what's going on as of yet. We're always here to help people and talk and give as much advice as possible. You know, we've all been through things and we've got back, you know, we've got through it and got on the other side of that. So I know that everybody can get through this. It's just dealing with the situation probably a bit better than we have been, and essentially, you know, working together. Don't go into the shops and go crazy buying toilet rolls. Like, you know, it's not the Armageddon. We're not, you know, the world's not going to suddenly end. Yes, it's a bad situation, but we will get through this. So I'm going to be giving some updates over the next few days as to what we're going to be doing here at the studio with our online training. So make sure to keep an eye out and get signed up. We're going to be offering a 7-day free trial within our Facebook group. I'll be putting more details up about that soon. So make sure you keep an eye out.